No one understood why this police dog refused to move. In the middle of a freezing snowstorm, it just stayed there, kept guarding something small, something that most people would walk right past without a second glance, something no one thought was important until the truth came out, and when it did, no one could hold back their tears. Before we continue, take just 1 second, like this video, and share it with someone who loves dogs, because this story deserves to be heard by as many people as possible. And if you're new here, subscribe to this channel for more incredible rescue stories just like this one. Also, tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? Which city, which country? We want to see how far these stories travel, because somehow, stories like this one always find the people who need them most. It was early morning, the kind of cold that settles into your bones before you even step outside, the kind of cold where the world goes quiet, where every sound feels muffled under layers of white. The trees along Route 9 were heavy with snow, the roads had barely been touched, and the town was still mostly asleep. Officer Daniel had been with the K9 unit for 6 years. He was a man of routine. Up before dawn, coffee from the same gas station every morning. The same patrol route, the same roads, the same fields. He wasn't the kind of man who expected surprises. His K9 partner, Rex, was a 4-year-old German Shepherd. Dark brown eyes, thick coat, calm unless something told him not to be. The two of them had been through a lot together. Drug busts, search and rescue operations, missing persons. After years of working side by side, Daniel could read Rex almost as well as Rex could read the world around him. And that morning, everything started the way it always did. The patrol car moved slowly through the empty streets, tire tracks cutting through fresh snow. Rex sitting in the back seat, ears up, watching. Nothing unusual, nothing out of place. Until suddenly, Rex stopped. Not a gradual alert, not a slow lean forward. He stopped like something had hit him. His ears went straight up. His entire body went rigid. His nose pointed forward. His eyes locked on something ahead, just off the road. Daniel slowed the car. He scanned the area. Trees, snow, a low ditch running along the shoulder. And then he saw it. Just a torn jacket, lying in the snow, half buried. Dirty gray fabric. One sleeve twisted outward like it had been thrown there. It looked like garbage, honestly. The kind of thing you see 100 times on the side of a highway and never think twice about. Daniel almost kept driving. He almost said, "Come on, Rex, it's nothing." But Rex wouldn't move. He was pressing himself against the car door now, whining softly. A low, urgent sound Daniel hadn't heard from him in a long time. Daniel pulled over. He stepped out into the cold, snow crunching under his boots, and clipped Rex onto his leash. The moment Rex's paws hit the ground, he bolted toward the jacket. Not aggressive, not violent, but desperate. He started barking, then growling, then circling the jacket in slow, careful loops, like he was guarding it, like whatever was in that jacket needed to be protected. Car passed by on the road behind them. The driver barely glanced over. A woman walking a small dog on the opposite side of the street looked up for a moment, then looked away. Just a cop and his dog, standing over some trash in the snow. Nothing to see here, but something wasn't right. Daniel could feel it, and Rex knew it. Daniel tried to move Rex back. Gently at first, calling his name, tugging the leash, giving the command to heel. Rex ignored every single one. In 6 years, Rex had never ignored a direct command. Not once. That alone told Daniel everything he needed to know. He let Rex lead. Rex pressed his nose against the fabric, sniffing every inch of it. Circling, pausing, circling again. Then he sat down right next to it and looked up at Daniel. That look, that specific look. Daniel had seen it before on searches, when Rex had found someone. "Okay," Daniel said quietly. "Okay, buddy. I hear you." He pulled out his radio, requested backup, not urgently but carefully. The kind of call that said, "I don't know what this is yet, but something is here." He crouched down in the snow. The jacket was old, that much was obvious. The kind of thick winter coat that might have been warm once, years ago. The color had faded. One of the zipper pulls was missing. The left shoulder had a long tear in it, like it had snagged on something sharp. He looked around the area. No footprints nearby except his own. No sign of struggle. No sign of anyone having been here recently. Just the jacket. And the snow. And Rex sitting perfectly still, watching him. People kept walking by. A man jogged past on the opposite sidewalk, earbuds in, eyes forward. A teenager on a bicycle slowed down for half a second, then kept pedaling. No one stopped. No one asked. Because to everyone else in the world that morning, it was just an old jacket in the snow. But that's the thing about dogs. They don't see the world the way we do. They don't dismiss things because they look ordinary. They don't walk past something because it seems small. They feel things. They sense things. And Rex had sensed something. Something that no human eye had caught. Something hidden. And Daniel was about to find it. He reached toward the jacket slowly. Rex made a small sound, not a warning, not aggression. Almost like encouragement. Like, yes. Right there. Keep going. Daniel's fingers touched the fabric. It was frozen at the edges, partially stiff from the cold. He turned it slightly, carefully. The jacket seemed empty. No weight to it. He almost pulled his hand back. But Rex leaned forward and whined again. Daniel checked the pockets. The outer ones empty. Just a small scattering of old lint and what might have been a receipt, long since reduced to nothing. He turned the jacket over. There was an inner pocket. A hidden one. The kind sewn into the lining that you'd only find if you were looking for it. The zipper on that pocket was barely visible. Dirty. Frozen slightly shut. Daniel worked it open with his gloved fingers. One slow inch at a time. Rex was completely still now. Not barking. Not circling. Just watching. Ears up. Eyes wide. Barely breathing. And then the zipper gave way. And Daniel reached inside. His fingers closed around something. Small. Folded. He pulled it out slowly and held it up in the gray morning light. It was a photograph. Old. Slightly bent at the corners. Protected from the snow by the sealed lining of that pocket. The only part of the jacket the cold hadn't fully reached. Daniel turned it over. And he stopped breathing for a moment. In the photograph was a man. Middle-aged. Tired eyes. But smiling, the kind of real smile that doesn't come easy. And beside him, a dog. A German shepherd. Young. Bright-eyed. Standing tall with his chest out like he owned the world. On the back of the photograph, written in faded blue ink, 7 words. My best friend. I'll find you again. Daniel sat back in the snow. He didn't speak for a moment. Rex leaned forward and gently pressed his nose against the photograph in Daniel's hand. One slow breath, and then he sat back again. Backup arrived a few minutes later. And slowly, over the next several hours, the story came together. The jacket belonged to a man named Thomas Hale, 61 years old. He had lived in that town for most of his life. Alone, in a small house at the edge of the woods, 3 miles from where they were standing. His neighbors said he was quiet, kept to himself, but kind, always kind. Thomas had lost his dog, a German shepherd named Scout, 2 years earlier. Scout had slipped out of the yard during a storm and never came back, despite everything Thomas did. Flyers, searches, phone calls. Scout was never found, and Thomas was never quite the same after that. His neighbors noticed. The light in his eyes dimmed a little. He still took walks. He still went through the motions of living. But something in him had gone quiet. That jacket, the torn one, the old one lying in the snow, was the jacket he had worn every single day during the 2 years he searched for Scout. He had walked these roads in that jacket, called Scout's name through these trees, put up flyers on these very telephone poles. And the photograph, it was the last picture ever taken of the 2 of them together. The only one he had. Thomas had collapsed near the spot 3 days earlier. He was found and taken to the hospital. The jacket had fallen from him as paramedics worked to stabilize him in the freezing cold. And in the chaos of that moment, no one had noticed. When Daniel arrived at the hospital later that day, photograph in hand, Thomas looked at it for a long time without saying a word. His hands trembled slightly, his eyes filled, and then he looked up at Daniel and said quietly, "I never let go of that picture. Not once. Not in 2 years." He paused, and then, almost to himself, he remembered, didn't he? Daniel didn't ask who he was talking about. He already knew. Rex had stood over that jacket for nearly 40 minutes in a freezing snowstorm, guarding it, protecting it, for a man he had never met, for a bond between a man and his dog that had outlasted everything the world threw at it. That evening, Daniel sat in his patrol car for a long time before driving home. Rex was in the back seat, quiet, still. Daniel looked at him in the rearview mirror. "How did you know?" he asked. Rex tilted his head slightly to the side. "The way dogs do when they understand more than you expect. There are things science can explain about dogs. Their hearing, their sense of smell, their ability to detect changes that humans never notice. But there are other things, the things that happen in moments like this one, that don't fit neatly into any explanation." Rex had walked past hundreds of objects on hundreds of patrols. He had never stopped like that before. Not for an old jacket. Not for something that looked like nothing. But that morning, something told him to stop. Something told him that what was lying in that snow, forgotten, half-buried, invisible to everyone else, was important, was worth protecting. And because of that, Thomas Hale got the one thing back that he thought was gone forever. Not his dog, but the memory of him, the proof that it had been real, the last piece of a love that had shaped the last years of his life. Some bonds don't fade, even when everything else around them does, even when time passes, even when the world moves on, even when the cold tries to bury them. And sometimes, the ones who can't speak carry the deepest stories of all. If the story moved you, please take a moment right now to like this video. It takes 1 second, but it tells us that stories like this one matter to you. Share it with someone today, a friend, a family member, someone who loves dogs, someone who needs to be reminded that there is still so much goodness in this world. And leave a comment below. Tell us what part of this story stayed with you the most. Was it Rex guarding that jacket in the snow? Was it Thomas holding that photograph for 2 years? Or was it that moment when Daniel looked at Rex in the rearview mirror and Rex just tilted his head? Tell us. We read every single one. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. Subscribe now and turn on the bell notification, because we have more stories like this one waiting for you. Stories about loyalty, about love, about the quiet, extraordinary things that happen when animals and humans find each other. Until next time, take care of yourself. Take care of the people around you. And if you have a dog, give them an extra hug today, because they already know things about you that even you don't fully understand yet.